This must be what it feels like to receive unconditional love.
Okay.
Don't you touch my face with that paw. Don't you touch my face with that paw.
9. I'll scrub through your face. And the winner of the Best Window Watcher award is... Tis yoga is just for humans. This furry guru is teaching us a thing or two. Forget the red carpet. Grandpa's favorite is slobbery kisses and wagging tails.
Hello everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to share a heartwarming story with you titled, A Rainy Day with My Two Cats. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Of course, if it's not your style, feel free to skip it, no hard feelings. Now, let's begin the story. This morning, the rain came down with the enthusiasm of a marching band drummer who had just discovered caffeine. The sky was heavy with thick clouds, and raindrops hammered the windows like tiny fingers demanding to be let inside. Normally, on a good weather day, I take my two cats out for a short stroll. Though, to be honest, stroll is a generous word. It's more like me standing awkwardly in the yard while they sniff every possible corner, pretend they've found something mysterious, then immediately lose interest and lie down on the grass. But today, that plan was canceled. The world outside was wet, messy, and simply unacceptable for two pampered felines who treat water like an enemy straight out of a villain movie. When I told them we weren't going out, they gave me a look that can only be described as lawsuit-level betrayal. Their tails twitched with mild annoyance. Their eyes narrowed like two disappointed teachers marking a failed exam. Still, it only took them 5 minutes to switch from sulky to sleepy, curling up on their favorite blankets as if they had been planning to nap all along. After all, in the grand hierarchy of feline priorities, sleeping always wins over walking. The rest of the day quickly turned into what I like to call the sleeping Olympics. If you think humans invented creative sleeping positions, you've clearly never lived with cats. My two champions rotated through an entire catalog of ridiculous postures. First came the classic loaf of bread, where the paws disappear under the body and they resemble a fluffy bakery item. Then came the Superman, with legs stretched dramatically to the front and back, as though they were flying across the living room carpet. At one point, one of them decided to attempt the upside-down pretzel, rolling onto his back, twisting halfway, and leaving his paws dangling midair like a yoga instructor demonstrating a pose no sane human could attempt. Of course, sleeping wasn't just about the positions, it was also about the sound effects. My smaller cat snored gently, like a soft whistle in the wind. The other, heavier one, produced noises so peculiar I briefly wondered if he had swallowed a tiny trumpet. Between the rain pattering on the roof and their sleepy symphony, my house became a cozy little concert hall. After hours of these athletic naps, They woke up with the kind of dramatic stretch that makes you think they just climbed Mount Everest instead of lying motionless for half the day. Their tails rose like royal banners, their whiskers quivered, and suddenly they had the energy of two toddlers who'd eaten far too much candy. With the rain still pouring outside, the cats decided the living room was their official playground. They dashed across the floor with the seriousness of Olympic sprinters, skidding slightly on the tiles, their paws making tiny thumping noises that echoed around the room. I tried to read a book on the sofa, but it was impossible to ignore the chaos when one of them launched himself heroically onto a chair, slipped, and then looked at me as if it was my fault. The toys I had bought for them, balls with bells, little stuffed mice, even a fancy feather wand, were completely ignored in favor of a cardboard box. They climbed in, climbed out, sat on it, scratched it, and then argued about who owned it, despite the fact that it was large enough for both. At one point, one cat hid inside the box like a secret agent waiting for an ambush, while the other circled around suspiciously, his tail puffed up like a bottle brush. The eventual pounce was clumsy, overdramatic, and ended with both of them rolling on the floor, biting each other gently before collapsing in a heap of fur and purrs. By evening, the storm outside had softened to a drizzle, but my cats had already made peace with their indoor-only adventure. They curled up together near the window, watching droplets slide down the glass. One rested his head on the other's back, looking perfectly content, as if this rainy day had been their grand plan all along. I couldn't help but laugh at how easily they adapted. While humans often complain about canceled plans, cats simply turn them into naps and play sessions. To them, every day, sunny or stormy, is just another opportunity to be fabulous, lazy, and a little bit ridiculous. As I turned off the lights, I realized that what had started as a dreary, rain-soaked day had transformed into a memory I would treasure. My two little furry companions had reminded me that joy doesn't depend on the weather or on sticking to the original schedule. Sometimes, happiness is as simple as a nap on a rainy afternoon in a cardboard box that turns into a kingdom. Life often hands us days like the rainy one I spent with my cats. Plans get canceled, routines are disrupted, and the world outside feels gray and inconvenient. Yet, just like my cats, we can choose how to respond. Instead of sulking about missed opportunities, they turn the day into something new. First a marathon of naps, then a playground of playful chaos. There's a lesson here for us in modern life, where we often measure our days by productivity and feel restless when things don't go as expected. Flexibility is a powerful skill, and so is finding joy in small, everyday things. When circumstances are beyond our control, it helps to shift our focus inward, rest when you're tired, laugh at little mishaps, and make use of what you already have, whether that's a cardboard box or simply a quiet moment. We don't always need grand adventures to create meaningful experiences. Sometimes a canceled plan can lead to a better memory. By embracing adaptability and gratitude, we remind ourselves that happiness doesn't rely on external conditions. It grows from our perspective, our creativity, and our ability to turn any situation, even a rainy day, into something worth cherishing.